All right, well, this is Megan here with I Run Far, and I'm with 2013 champion of the Cayuga Trails 50, Sage Canaday. Congratulations, sir.
Oh, thank you.
How's it going?
Great. I could kind of walk around. I'm still hobbling a little bit. Didn't get injured, so didn't get lost. So
Didn't get
good.
lost
Yeah.
or injured.
That's right.
No stitches needed, and you finished the race.
Yep.
And you finished the race with a little bit of prize money. You're taking home $2,500 today.
Yeah, I think it was my biggest payday since the Chicago Marathon, so
You got to be.
I'm really happy with that. Yeah,
what
that's great.
What are you gonna do with 2,500 bucks?
A lot of it's gonna go towards rent, probably.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get some new camera equipment, like that microphone you got on there. So
I'm gonna watch that microphone.
Yeah.
It's still there when we're done.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you. You've
thank you.
had quite a year. Your year, well, I guess 2013 started off with a win at Bandera in January.
Yep.
Did you race in February?
No, February I was doing some snowshoeing with my girlfriend, Sandy Nypaver.
Awesome. And then you're going to have to probably help me out here. After that,
I went to New Zealand for the Tarawera
in March.
100K. Yep, that was March.
And then Lake Sonoma.
Yep.
Where you won Tarawera.
Mm-hmm.
Lake Sonoma, you set a course record in April.
Yep.
And then, have you raced since?
May was Transvolcania.
Oh, shoot. Transvolcania,
Third.
where you came in third in the Ultra Sky Running race.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are, June, and a win at the inaugural Cayuga Trails 50. So this sort of pattern that we're in here, this is either the fast track to getting the most interviews with I Run Far, or the fast track to burnout.
Yeah, I agree. I got a lot on my plate, and I started thinking about that today when I didn't feel so good. I was like, you've raced an awful lot. It's probably a bad idea. You're probably you're in that, taper and then recovery cycle. And yeah, racing a lot, it does take a lot on your body. So I'm definitely pushing the envelope there, and it's probably not ideal. And I'm just waiting till I crash and burn this year, really. But I love racing, I love traveling, and it's hard to say no sometimes, but as long as I keep the distance shorter than 100K or 50 miles, I think I'm doing okay. And I have a bigger break, well, after next weekend, I have a bigger break till speed goes, so. Yeah,
speaking of next weekend, you have something coming up. You're going to do the Mount Washington road race next Saturday, right?
Yep, yeah. Mount Washington.
So you have about 6 days to recover.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. My quads are going to be pretty shot. I don't think I'll be able to climb at 100%.
You don't think you'll be able to climb at the same pace you did last year?
No. I got lucky with the weather last year too, so it'll be a challenge. But 7.6 mile race, hopefully won't beat me up too much.
So last year you ran, I think, 58:27. Is that right?
Yep.
Which is the fastest time for an American on Mount Washington, which is pretty amazing because it's a long, storied, historic race where lots of fast dudes have showed up. What's your predicted finish time for this year, given what happened today?
It depends on the weather, because it gets really windy up there, but I'd like to crack an hour, ideally, and hopefully I could still compete for the win, maybe.
Cool.
It depends on how the other guys do, too, I guess.
Cool, yeah. So, let's talk about what happened at the race today.
Mm-hmm.
You basically were off the front with the exception of the first, 10-ish miles?
Yeah,
Dennis was there?
Yeah, to that big hill at 10 miles.
What was that climb called?
I don't even remember.
Lick Creek climb, something funny.
I think it had a premium on it though,
yeah.
So it was steep. It was maybe over a quarter mile long, and it was a steep grade. It was hard not to power hike there.
Okay, did you hike or did you run?
A couple steps I was power hiking, and a couple on the stairs I was power hiking a couple times. So I pretty much tried to keep a running cadence most of the race.
Okay. So let's talk about how the race played out for you in terms of how you felt. I heard you talking at the finish line about you crashed and burned into a creek and you were kind of bonking at the time and you actually thought you might drop. Where was that in the race and how'd you resurrect yourself? It
was about 33 miles in,
okay.
I think, and it was there were a lot of stream crossings. This was one of the lower ones, like 2 feet deep maybe. And of course I tripped on a rock and I kind of tumbled in the water, and I think I probably had maybe a 2 or 3 minute lead on Matt Flaherty, and my hamstrings were really tight the whole race, and I thought it was going to be really bad. And when I fell, my hamstrings were really cramped up actually,
okay.
With pretty painful, and my knee was bleeding a little bit. I'm not sure if you got a picture of that.
I did.
My elbow was a little bruised.
Aw.
It's not that bad, but and so after that, I started walking up this hill for a couple minutes, and I got really negative. It was like a real low point, and I felt dizzy. I was like, I'm gonna bonk. So I took a gel. But I was like 90% sure I was gonna drop out, and I was thinking about Washington. I was like, this is not gonna be good. And then I was like, well, the next aid station's like 3 miles away. You might as well jog to it. So I started jogging again, and then all of a sudden I kind of got a second wind, and I was able to kind of pick up the pace, and I started feeling kind of better. And so I was like, you know what? You're still competing. You could, maybe still pull off a win if you're lucky, but at least you could, finish, because I don't like DNFs.
Okay. So do you think it was the physical that manifested the mental check, or did you come around mentally and that helped you physically?
I think the physical manifested the mental, because I was just in pain from the fall.
Okay.
And the cramps kind of shook me up a little mentally. So I was able to regroup from that, and I still had to stop and stretch for the cramps a couple times, and I ran out of S-caps, so I was kind of kicking myself for that, for mismanaging that, and
Okay.
I ran out of gels between aid stations once, and so I just had to, try to overcome that and keep moving as well as possible.
Okay. So let's talk about Matt. He was sort of breathing down your shirt all day.
Yeah, Matt and Jordan,
Both,
they were
yeah.
really close, because after I took the lead at 10 miles, I thought maybe I opened up about 2 minutes or 3 minutes before the next big climb after Buttermilk Falls. And so I thought I was pretty comfortable in the lead, but then at the turnaround at 25 miles, because it's an out and back, I looked across the field and I saw Matt right there, and then a minute behind him I saw Jordan, and they were running really strong races, and I definitely didn't feel very good. I felt like I couldn't go any faster, and I was like, this is going to be a positive split the second lap for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just didn't want them to catch me, so I really tried to accelerate into the next lap, but I was really hurting, and they were running really strong races, so there was pressure the whole time, and I was looking over my shoulder, but they ran great races, and they finished really close together, and I think Matt was about 5 minutes behind me at the finish, so couldn't let up the whole way. Had to keep pressing.
Yeah. Well, he closed his deficit to you to less than a minute at the turnaround. And then, you slowly built up that 5-minute lead that you have at the end. Now, he said when he came through Buttermilk the second time, what was that, like mile 37? Something like that.
Yeah.
He said, gosh, I can't catch him on the climbs. So, but when I thought about it, I thought, well, it's kind of, there's some decent climbing and there's still some decent descending. Matt might be in the game, but perhaps your advantage on the climbing.
Yeah, I definitely tried to take advantage of the climbs, and I know, it's impressive he did what he does, because he trains in Chicago, and there's no big climbs there. It's not like being in Colorado, so great race, and he's telling me he's been racing a lot, 51-minute 10 miles a couple weeks ago, and he's just in phenomenal shape, so it's good to see him returning after his long injury hiatus he had last year. So
cool.
Great competitor, and same thing with Jordan too, for making it a really close race.
Yeah. So last question for you. We're coming on summer in the high country in Colorado, and I know you've just moved up to high altitude. I know you got a bunch of racing still on your summer schedule, but are you going to do anything fun now that you live up high in some beautiful mountains?
Oh, for sure. I went up Mount Audubon a couple weeks ago. It's 13.2, but we were post-holing for like 3 feet of snow. But my girlfriend and I, Sandy Nightbaver, we're planning to go to Maroon Bells, do the 4-pass loop. I'd like to get in as many 14ers as I can, non-technical ones. I don't go above class 3. We might do longs later in the summer, but that'll probably be more of a hike.
Okay.
Kind of scared of heights. So yeah, just doing that, and hopefully traveling around the state as much as possible, and trying to take advantage of no snow up in the high country.
Yeah, well, speaking of your girlfriend Sandy, she had a pretty good day as well. She was the runner-up female.
Yeah, she did great.
Yeah.
It was really exciting to cheer her on out there.
Talk about a fast couple at the finish line.
Yeah, no, it was great. I was trying to get updates from you, and you're like, oh, she's in second, and so that's motivating, because I know we think about each other during the race.
Right.
It's good to see her on the out and backs too. So.
Predictably, every time I saw you, you asked about her, and every time I saw her, she asked about you. So.
Oh, good.
I think it might be love.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, congratulations to you.
Oh, thanks so much.
On your win
Appreciate
today.
it.
congratulations on your $2,500 cash purse. And
Yeah.
we'll see at the awards in a little bit if you
Yep.
take home any of the preems.
Oh, for sure.
On the
Yep.
day. And best of luck with recovery in the next 6 days between now and that Washington road race.
Thanks, I'll need it.